What's up? It's Monday. Monday in the house. Let's see. What kind of songs have I been channeling? Keep on rocking in the free world. So if that gives you any Monday motivation, that's what I got. Keep on rocking in the free world. You guys wanted me to be a singer. I know you did. Yeah, so when, things might feel challenging, you just keep on rocking, you guys. Just keep on rocking in the free world, okay? Just keep believing. Journey right there. Don't stop believing. You got this. Just keep shining your light. Keep being amazing. Did everybody have a good weekend? When things might feel like a little challenging, it's okay. Just keep getting yourself back into your space of brain and heart coherence where you're actually seeing the intention and feeling it simultaneously and really getting grounded in the future that you are creating for yourself and letting go of the past in its entirety. I am getting so much better at this. Like every day, it seems like it gets easier and easier to just completely transmute energy that I thought would not, when you're in the thick of it, it's hard to see the forest from the trees, but it's actually happening. So I don't know. I'm going to just keep encouraging you guys to keep continuing to overcome so that you start really actually becoming. Because when that starts to happen, all these new things start opening up and these new experiences that might motivate you, inspire you. Like, what does it mean to be inspired? What does it mean to really have all of your needs met? What does it mean to really be courageous? Brave. What does that look like in your life? What does it mean to be a contribution, to be of service, to have infinite abundance? Like, what are those things actually look like in your life? How would that make you feel? Like, continuing to practice that. It's really awesome. All right, let's see what the Sacred Geometry has to say for today. And being discerning, dynamic, authority, transition. I pulled the dynamic card the other day. It's interesting. And the authority card. So really being able to pull in together all the things. It's like making a recipe. It's like, I'm going to add some of this, I'm going to add some of that. And it might, in the beginning, not make any sense. And then all of a sudden, it's coming into its power. Coming into its authority. When I first started making cannolis, it was a disaster. It was awful. My aunt gave me this recipe. It was hi Aunt Donna, and my grandma. One of them gave me a recipe, and it didn't work. And then I went to the other one and said, "Can you give me a recipe?" So then I took the other recipe, and that didn't work. And then I went to my mom and I said, "None of this is working." And she said, "Maybe try a little of both." And so what ended up happening is that I took a little of this and a little of that, and I created something in my own independence, in my own authority. I made my own recipe with a little combination of dynamic contribution. And so then I started practicing, and my disastrous cannoli transitioned into something magical. Okay? And when I first started, and how I was able to gauge the success of what I was doing is with my palate. I knew that the cannoli tasted good. Even though it didn't scientifically come together correctly, that took practice. The flavor was still, I was using my palate to guide me. I was using my senses. I was using what I actually could naturally use from one of my skill sets to guide me. So this is all about really taking things, bringing them together, allowing them to manifest, being willing to fail, being willing to try again, and being willing to continue to grow into being your own person, being your own authority as things transpire into a very transformative experience, allowing for things to change, transition. When I first got that recipe, I had to transition, I had to pivot. pivot. It was like, okay, pivot. Okay, pivot. Okay, pivot. It was a bit of a process. It was a bit of a transition. So this is interesting. So you guys being willing to be open, taking things, a little of this and a little of that, maybe some feedback from over here and some feedback over here, and being willing to put your own spin on it and allow it to go through a process of ever-changing nature. Let go of what doesn't work. Surrender to the process. Allow things to unfold easily, gracefully. All right, let's see what the tarot has to say for today. It's Monday, the fun day. I think it's May 20th. I don't know what day it is. Don't ask me. I know it's Monday. I do know that much. I have a 6 p.m. Pilates class. I know Mondays are 6 p.m. Pilates classes. All right, let's see. Five of Wands. Yeah, a lot of people's feedback. A lot of this and a lot of that. Okay. So again, being able to be open to feedback, as well as being in your own truth, transitioning into your own power, bringing in some decisions, being able to use these decisions to move you forward so that you can make decisions that are balanced and integral and that flow and that communicate what you're up to in a way that is impassioned and loving, and that you're learning some new things about how to trust yourself. Moving forward in a way that is successful, that holds the space for your experience, your song, your recipe. Being able to take a few recipes, bring them together, and put your own spin on it in a way that can be cultivated into something that can contribute dynamically, that can transmute in a way that is magical. Wow. That was easy enough. All right, well, you guys, let's see. Being really honest about decisions you have to make so that you can move forward in a way that's really loving and grounded and integral and honest and truthful and balanced and flowing and communicating with vigor, trusting your intuition, being anchored into your heart, but also having an entrepreneurial mindset, being open to learning some new information around trusting your intuition. There is an opportunity for something really stable and tangible right here, right now, in the space, for you to really come into this manifested power. Moving forward with this is quick. There's some quick energy here. There's some like moving and shaking energy here. I love that. So really moving and shaking so that you can create something in your own space and be successful at it. Turning down the noise. This is what I've been telling everybody. Turn down all the noise. Turn off your phone, turn off your TV, turn off anything that might have a vibration that is distracting, that is counterintuitive to what you're doing. Don't listen, or, don't be like, I watched a couple of Netflix shows yesterday and I was like, no, I don't want to hear this. I just wasn't into the vibration. Being very conscious to whatever information you're allowing in your space, and really holding a space for quiet so that you can listen to your own internal voice, so that you can use your own internal gauge to help you transmute this energy, to help you with the recipe. Using your own intuitive nature, using your senses, using your intuition, using your gut. Does this feel good on my stomach? Does this food taste good for me? No, then maybe I shouldn't be eating it. I heard somebody I was talking to and they said, oh, I ate this. Okay, for starters, I'm vegan, so I digress. But my friend was saying, oh, I ate these chicharrones, which are pork rinds. And I was like, first of all, gross. But it's a staple and people love that. Some people love that snack, if you will. But my friend was like, oh, but I had a stomachache. And I was like, You know, like, don't feed yourself something that's going to make you unhappy. Feed yourself something that you love. Talk to yourself in a way that you love. Respect yourself in a way that is loving. Like, just really, I posted something on my Instagram yesterday. If you're not, if you're on Instagram, please follow Evolve Humanity. It's Evolve_Humanity if you want to be a part of it. I just opened up an Instagram for this channel. But anyways, I posted something on there that was all about feeding yourself with love, respecting yourself with love, you know, talking to yourself with love. It's all about like creating a space for self-love and wholeness for yourself so that nothing can deviate you away, that you become so coherent in your own frequency that you can't really be deviated away from your path, even when things come along that are a little annoying and distracting. Even if there's a lot of noise where you're like, let me turn you down. I don't want to hear what you have to say. It's not feeding me in a way that is healthy. So by really being discerning of that and knowing how to really perfect your recipe is going to take some really clear intentional intention. Okay, so being mindful, trusting, and like conscientious of what everything it is that you're doing, what you're listening to. Like, stop listening to the news. Turn off the effing news. I mean, don't if you don't want to, but don't. I stopped watching the news and my whole life transformed. If I want information, I'll go find it. If I want to know what's going on, if I hear buzzes about things that are happening, I'll go find them. It's not that I am completely oblivious. I do follow some information, but I am very conscientious of how much and where do I get that information. So you also have ultimate authority over your life. Ultimate authority. You get the complete power and authority over your own experience. So you are 100% responsible for yourself. You are 100% responsible for your experience. So being able to be very conscientious and discerning about what is good for you is going to be really important. So this is really about making some decisions. There's a lot of decisions here to move forward in a way where you're choosing to love yourself. You're choosing to be in balance. You're choosing for flow. You're choosing for this to happen with rigor. So that's pretty magical. Oh my God, the Empress wanted to pop out. So you're creating something very beautiful, very abundant, very balanced, very loving, stable, prosperous. Healing from... Okay, you're taking a risk to really heal some things. There's still some stuff that you're still working on healing, about healing some things related to your values, about what you value, about who you value giving your time and energy to. So just really working through being completely transparent and honest, and designing something that is really designing something that is solid, that is anchored in strength and passion and multi-dimensional. So you guys know I do all this I do a lot of energy work. I started doing like work on neuroscience and understanding like quantum physics and spirituality, and I've been training under a psychic for the last several years. But one of the things that I'm really learning, one of the things I'm getting very conscious to, is actually going in and out of dimensions. It happens in my dreams. It happens now. I'm starting to become very conscious of when it actually just happens. Like it's I don't want to get into that all right now, but there's some things about brainwave patterns, and when they get to a certain point, you're like kind of asleep, but then you can go in and out of these mystical experiences, and then you can there's just so many journeys you can go on where you're just going in and out of these dimensions. And I was actually meditating earlier, and I was swimming. I was in a dimension where I was swimming out. I was swimming away from the dimension I came from. I'm swimming towards the next space and time, which is the illusion, but I'm moving in the direction of the dimension that I'm moving into and away from. Okay, so sometimes you can get really far off out there into another space and time, and you gotta, in order to, transverse, you have to be able to keep on the journey, but you might have to unlearn all that, move away from all of that, remove yourself from all of that. So that's kind of how I saw that interpretation, is that in a way to keep me going into this other dimension, I had to really intentionally move away from the dimension that I'm coming out of. So this is about really getting grounded and getting anchored in this design, and really being open to multi-dimensional experiences. Okay, being open to understanding what that means, because we are not linear beings, we are dimensional beings. Okay, 10 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. There's abundance on the horizon, or it's happening as we speak. You're just being that energy. That's lovely. Knight of Swords, Seven of Cups, options. Yeah, all right. So you have, you're really being able to be, by, being really discerning about what your options are, you get to manifest destiny by really being discerning about what you want. Like I said in last week, a couple weeks ago, I've been really talking about how to be really intentional about what you manifest, being really discerning, because you can manifest anything. I mean, you really can. Trust me on that. And you might be like, wait, what? This wasn't exactly what I thought was going to happen. But being very responsible and intentional on those manifestations will allow you to be very purposeful in what you get, in what comes, what you want to match with vibrationally. Okay. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, something is really brewing here. You're brewing something. There's a recipe for success that you are currently creating. When I first made cannolis and I took them, they were a disaster. The cream wasn't consistent enough to stay in the shell, so it would kind of seep out. And so I packed it with a bunch of chocolate chips to kind of adhere it. It was just, people were like, oh my God, these are so good. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like embarrassed to bring these, but people thought they were really good. So I think it's really important that, I'm like, is the bar set really low? You just be open to where you feel like you have some traction and use some leverage to carry that forward. And even if you're not really great at it at first, or you don't think you are, that's your imposter syndrome. Get over yourself and trust the process, and know that you are in the process of making something magical. You are being the alchemist. You are turning base metal into gold. So take your time, slow and steady wins the race. Have fun. Well, this actually came up upside down. So I think what that means, I'm going to take it as, you really should be focused right now. And maybe put some of you can enjoy what you're doing, but make sure you're doing what you need to do over having fun. So make sure your priorities and your responsibilities and your desire to actually manifest this destiny is taking precedence over hanging out and kicking it, watching the news, watching television, whatever it is that you're doing that might need to be turned down or dialed back in order for you to really focus on continuing to do this magical potion, you know, like your magical spell of wonderment that you're creating right now, okay? All right, you guys. That is your Monday motivator. So she's gotta take it to run. So this is it, you guys. This is your opportunity to go forward. You got the ticket. You're moving ahead. So keep adding a little of this and a little of that, and make sure you're really taking good care of yourself and enjoy the moment while you're in it. Oh, and the last card was the miracles are endless, you guys. I didn't read that card. So just believe that anything is possible. You can create anything you want. You just have to trust and get out of the way and continue to get anchored in your heart and manifest that entrepreneurial mindset and learn some new things about how to trust yourself and trust your intuition and use your voice to keep it pushing and, you know, keep going forward, okay? Because this is your opportunity to turn your base metals into gold, to be the alchemist, to be the manifester, to manifest that destiny, to choose how to anchor in an integral, truthful, balanced, flowing, keeping it pushing opportunity to be a contribution to the greater good, and also simultaneously creating abundance and prosperity for yourself. Okay, so that being said, I wish you well today. Have a good Monday. I'll see you soon. I hope there was a message in this reading. Either way, see you guys later.